those who dare to lead it. As we recognize these remarkable women, let us celebrate not just their achievements, but also the values that they embody: resilience, creativity, and an unwavering spirit to rise above challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to sit back and enjoy what promises to be an evening of celebration, inspiration, and empowerment. Thank you, and let the celebrations begin. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We begin our on-stage proceedings by invoking the higher powers and lighting the traditional Kuttuvelakku. To lead us with the lamp lighting, I'd like to welcome onto the stage Dr. Preeta Reddy, Executive Vice Chairperson, Apollo Hospitals. Welcome, ma'am. I'd also like to take the opportunity to invite Mr. Prabhu Chawla, Editorial Director, The New Indian Express, Ms. Santwana Bhattacharya, Editor, The New Indian Express, and Ms. Lakshmi Menon, CEO, The New Indian Express. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much. Well, that was a formal way of officially beginning. But coming up on stage, we also have a celebratory way that we want to begin. If there's one thing that we take a lot of pride in here at Devi Awards, it is keeping up with innovation every step of the way. And very much in line with that, and of course a trending buzzword of AI, we have come up with a unique theme song that has been completely AI generated, encapsulating the theme and the emotions behind Devi Awards. If I may request the AV.
With strength and grace, you light up the you serve and heal. Breaking chains, your love you reveal. In slums or villages, your light does shine. With every step you draw the line. In boardrooms or on canvas first, your vision sharp, your touch contrast. Entrepreneurs, artists, your tales we hear. Your courage, your art, we hold so dear. For the motherland, you stand so tall. With every breath, you heed the call. From freedom fights to peace, you bring. Your spirit, our anthem lit. Celebrate the spirit, the soul, the might of every Indian woman in this flight. Devi, Devi, rise with pride, with wisdom, strength you strive.
Thank you. From the lyrics to the tunes, all of it was AI generated. So what better example of the lovely times that we are in? And with that, we have a very interesting conversation coming up on stage. To join us, I'd like to invite Dr. Preetha Reddy with a round of applause. And of course, driving this conversation, I invite Ms. Kaveri Bamzai, senior journalist. Setting the tone for Devi Awards 2025, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, ma'am.
Wow, what a crowd. Great. It's such a pleasure to be with you, Preetha, because I think the sisterhood that runs Apollo is an example to all. And what sets the women who lead Apollo apart from the others?
I think the sisterhood happened because there was no option. My father had 4 daughters. I think he really wished he had his son. Now he doesn't regret it, thank God. But anyway, there are 2 Devis in my life and 3 more in between. The first Devi is my mother. She's a beautiful lady, soft, gentle on the outside. Very tough with the 4 of us when we don't behave on the inside.
Even now?
Even now. So I think that kind of kept the family together. And then, of course, my 3 sisters are really entwined in my DNA. So I can't even think individually, which is, I think, a good thing for the company, is that any decision I will always think, you know, what will the other one say? What would her advice be? And that has kind of helped us in the way we function. And of course, my youngest Devi is my granddaughter, and her name is Mallika Devi, and
nice.
she puts a smile on my face.
How old is she?
She's 4.
Wow. Is she also already planning to join the family business?
Right now, she's wrapping us all around her little finger, so I don't know.
So really, what do each of you bring to Apollo? Because it's such a tough business. I mean, it is care, but it is also a business. And at the end of the day, it has to be sustainable. And in an environment that is changing so fast, what does each of you bring to the Apollo group?
So we are in the business of caring. You know, there's no going away from that. The caring is first. If you get the caring right, the business will follow.
Follows.
And I think that's why it's different from many others, because we actually can't afford to make mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, you're dealing with
we
humans.
really can't.
Yeah.
So, you know, the stakeholders are the patients who come to us, the families whose lives, we support because they're employed with us, the people who've invested with us, and all those amazing clinicians, because, we manage it from the back, but they're the ones in front who are doing it. So I think the stakeholders are important. And what do the four of us do? We all work closely with my father, and I think being the eldest, there's extra responsibility of keeping it all together. And I should have been a doctor, but I didn't, and that's another story for another time. But having said that, I love the clinical piece, and I like what we do with the hospitals. I love it, so that makes me get up and come to work, so I do that. My sister Sunita has a beautiful mind, and she's the finance, the strategist, and the MD of the company. So in a way, we don't really do anything if she doesn't approve of it, so she does that. My sister Shobna is a chip off the old block. She's the entrepreneur. So she started off with our retail pharmacies. We have, we're one of the largest. And she then has taken us on the path of our digital foray. So she's the entrepreneur in the family, and she does it. Sangeeta is literally our queen of hearts. So she really handles all the HR. We call her our Saraswati, because she's profound with her wisdom, her words, and her knowledge. So she puts together everything from a knowledge perspective for us. So this is how we kind of, manage the work which we do. And by the grace of God, it's worked.
Absolutely, and how? Also, I think whenever we talk of healthcare, and I've noticed that you do that often, and thank you for that, you focus on the nurses, while the doctors are important. I think that's really wonderful, because we often forget they really are the people who hold up healthcare. So let's talk a little about the nurses, the women who are there, mostly I think, even now, and what do they bring to healthcare that is so vital and needs to be sustained?
I think they are literally the core of our existence. The nurses to a healthcare system are what the spine is to a body. That you might have a brain and you might have a heart, but you can't really function without a spine. And that is the likeliness of what the nurses do to a healthcare system. Having said that, we're one of the largest employers of nurses, apart from maybe the governments. But there's so much which we have to do for them.
Yeah.
I think as a breed, they're not appreciated enough. Globally, there's a lack of nurses, they're not enough. So they immediately take our Indian nurses.
Yeah, and they're
all
over the world.
Yeah, but we as a country, I don't think we've still given them their rightful place. We haven't appreciated them enough. And I think that is one of the initiatives, one of the processes which we are doing.
What exactly are you doing on that front?
I think number one is the training is very important, because when you're trained well and you know your job well, you're superbly confident. So when you train them well, they become confident and they do very well. The second is, I think, what a nurse, they also go to college for 3 years, and they do come from backgrounds who really, they need to be paid well. And that's why we lose them. So I think we need to find a way to pay our nurses better. And that's critical now. And I think a lot of hospital associations, we've been talking about it. And we're saying that, almost like mandating each other. Just like quality and the quality journey is important for us, the looking after the nurses has become very critical.
Do you consciously ensure that there are enough women in your business?
I don't have to, it's skewed in that way. Even our board is there's 4 of us.
Right.
And there are 2 more independent directors. So the board has a lot of women. Our staff are a lot of women, just because we have a large nursing workforce. But what is, I really need to flag this, is that we run 2 really good medical schools now in the country. 60% now are women. which never used to be. You know, over the years, there are more women opting to be doctors.
Good for them.
So that's a good trend.
Yeah. But, you know, we just completed the Think Edu conclave. We heard a lot about how there's a shortage of doctors. What is the focus that needs to be there? Should it be generalist? Should it be more specialist? What's your take on, clearly there's a shortage, and what's your take on the kind of education that we need to do to bring about?
So one, we have to come to terms with the fact that our medical education was so controlled, you know, it was almost like it was scarce, and now thanks to the government, I think Modi's government has really opened that up. So we will see more doctors coming. The second is that the curriculum is still in the, you know, 1900s or maybe 1920. You just had a song, AI driven.
Yeah.
We're not focusing enough on how can we use AI to work better and smarter. So I think the curriculum for the doctors has to change. The old family doctor really did so much for the patient, and we as a family firmly believe that people should not come to hospitals. You know, we should do whatever we can to keep them well. We should be able to intervene in their spaces, in their house, and that's why the whole digital exercise. And so the family doctor, the GP, the generalist is a missing piece.
Yes.
We're over-specialized.
Right.
And it's not an Indian phenomenon. It's a global phenomena that people are we're just so over-specialized that we've lost the art of really the touch and feel of health.
Exactly. And I think COVID actually exacerbated that. Let's talk about the impact of COVID. What were your learnings from it for your business?
One is because of COVID, we hastened our digital existence, and that has really been very successful for the business. What COVID taught us is to be able to collaborate. You know, that we should stop as institutions working in silos and learn from others to do things better. And I'm a very proud Indian. We were up every night because, you know, there were calls with the US and UK, and we were on a system called speedometer. And we were looking.
What is that, sorry?
Speedometer.
Okay.
It, you know, just had, because everything had to be fast,
Faster.
I guess. Anyway, somebody named it that.
Right.
But we were looking at outcomes which were happening within our Apollo system, our part of the world, rest of the world. We were talking to Mayo, we were with, you know, Johns Hopkins, trying to see if somebody's doing something better. It didn't matter who you were or where you belonged to. It was just that we have to do something better. And that collaborative mindset, I think, is helping healthcare move in leaps and bounds. And look what happened with the vaccines.
Yeah.
We were the
Because
ones
so
who
many
fast-tracked
people
it.
came together, right?
Exactly. Even, you know, so I think there were many learnings, but the biggest learning was that we broke the silos, we worked as partners, and even now, when it comes to training, research, and second opinion services, we're all working together.
Are you satisfied with the level of research that goes on in India in the medical field?
India or globally?
India.
Tough question. You want me to say the truth? I'm
Yes,
not.
the truth.
I think the capability is there.
Yeah.
If you go to any research center in the Western world, it'll be manned by Indians. And then we come here, and I think we're grappling with, you know, some of the systems and facts which we can really do better. The other piece is, we actually have some of the ancient and the best healthcare systems. You know, we just we invested in Ayurveda, and we're looking at integrated medicine. And the revelation of what the possibilities are is tremendous. So I think if we can look at research a little bit more holistically, if we can invest in medical research, and I think people who are doing the hard work have to be rewarded. So it's a whole cycle of things which need to happen, but what we're doing is not enough.
So, but you are on several committees and you're consulted quite often on various things. What is the one thing that you'd like the government and the private sector to do to collaborate in the healthcare business? The one thing.
You actually said that word, is to collaborate. Because unfortunately, you know, health and education is a
Yeah.
fundamental right.
Right.
So when private sector gets into that space, they're not looked at very favorably by the government. But the government can't do everything by themselves because 70% of healthcare is done by private, 70% of education is done by private sector, for profit, not for profit. But anyway, it's done. And I think if we find a way to collaborate, because at the end of the day, the youth have to, be looked after. We have to find jobs for our youth.
Yeah.
We have to progress as a country. And when you talk about healthcare, there's a large aging population which is going to be a pandemic larger than COVID if
Absolutely.
we don't look after it. So I think we have to think differently, work together,
Yeah.
come out with policies so that there's enough for everyone.
Right. I just wanted to take you back to when your father actually began, and he was a pioneer. I think nobody had really thought that you could have a private hospital which would become such an enormous empire chain. Do you remember any of that, those early days? Do you remember Apollo coming up? Do you remember your father's struggles in the early days? Would you like to take us through that a bit?
I have to say this, and it'll set the tone. We were cheap labor. My father couldn't afford, enough staff, so all four of us pitched in for free.
What all did you do?
We did everything. Holding hands, directing patients where they have to be, building the hospital, training people in our own way without knowing what we have to do. We trained all the staff. I held what we call TLC, tender loving care classes, maybe for 15 years, every day. So we did every aspect of what has to be done. Now, the quality journey happened with us, the JCI, the NM. So I think we've kind of done it. And I thank God every day because we had a chance to do it. I think if my father had maybe taken another path, he was doing very well in the US.
Yeah.
And he came back to India only because of his 4 daughters. He said my mother said they should not grow up in the US. They have to come back. His father told him, you must come back and serve your country. So he came. And I think in the early days, we did everything. And there were trials and tribulations because hospitals were not funded by banks that time. So it was multiple trips to Bombay to convince the banks that this had to be done. All his notes had to be written up by all of us because, they weren't experts in those days. So we had to take down his ideas and write it into notes which somebody would appreciate and read. There were audio visuals to be done, money to be raised, go to the market. Now they're professionals for everything.
Yeah.
But that time we kind of pitched
How
in
old
and
were
did
you?
all that. When Apollo happened, was in my 20s, so 26.
Wow.
Yeah, we're 41,
Huh.
so 26.
So you remember, looking back, you actually did everything that you needed to do. It was like a long apprenticeship, right?
Yeah.
And
Sometimes you learn because you don't have a
choice.
And that happened to all 4 of us.
So if you had the chance to be a doctor though, not doctor, but medical doctor, what would you choose? What specialization would you have chosen?
So I have to tell you this, there are 2 people I'm very jealous of. One is a doctor in a white coat and a steth, which didn't happen. And second is people like my friend Sudha here, with that amazingly beautiful voice. I cannot sing to save my life. So these are 2 regrets. But doctor, I got into medical school. But we come from a very old-fashioned Andhra family, and my father said girls have to get married at 19, so forget medical school.
Which medical school did you get in?
Stanley.
Really?
Yeah.
And you
I
couldn't
got to
go?
see. He didn't. It was his college, but he didn't let me go. So that's
Anyway.
life. I have no. I do have regrets, but I love what I'm doing.
I wonder would you have been a surgeon? Would you have been a cardiologist? What would you have chosen?
I would have been an intensivist.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to speak to you. And thank you for doing this. And by the way, I hope you guys know that she's a former Devi as well. So we obviously have great taste and we choose well. Thank you so much.
And with that, if I may invite Mr. Prabhu Chawla to join us on stage to present Dr. Preeta Reddy with a token of our gratitude and our appreciation. Thank you so much for taking the time, ma'am, this evening. And of course, thank you for that behind-the-scenes look into what the business of caring looks like. We always see the other side, a lovely candid version right there. And most importantly, I think we've also seen the positives of having a sisterhood of Devis. If I may also take the opportunity to request Mr. Prabhu Chawla and Dr. Preeta Reddy to remain on stage as we set the stage for Devi Awards 2025. We begin our on-stage proceedings, ladies and gentlemen, celebrating the wonderful Devis that we have in our midst. And alongside that, we also are truly privileged to have the presence of each and every one of you. Today is all about celebrating the journey and alongside that being the unstoppable force of nature and all of it culminating here on stage. For the fourth time we're here in Chennai celebrating the Devis and of course we have the opportunity to celebrate the Devis in the front row and every single one in the audience. So thank you so much for joining us and with that, it is officially time to jump right into our awards ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, our first Devi we're going to be celebrating this evening is Ms. Sudha Raghunathan for music that transcends all borders. We have a short AV we'd like to introduce to you. If I may please request the AV be played.
Sudha Raghunathan, vocalist, born to melody, sculpted by mastery, soaring over barriers of language, religion and borders, a song of humanity's shared soul, a call that invites us all to listen, to feel, to remember that we too are instruments of harmony. The New Indian Express honors Sudha Raghunathan, Devi of melody. The universe hums through her voice, truth lingers in the air.
I'd like to request Dr. Preeta Reddy and Mr. Prabhu Chawla to present ma'am with the Devi Award. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate a beautiful journey.
Sudha, may I just ask you a quick question?
Sure.
We often turn to you in our, in times when we want some solace or some peace. Who do you listen to for that moment of peace in your life?
It would be unfair if I didn't say I listen to my guru, the one and only M.L. Vasantakumari Amma. To the chief guest of the day, Preeta Reddy, the fraternity of New Indian Express, guests present here, and all the beautiful and wonderful Devis before me, congratulations to all of you. It's a moment of celebration, definitely, not just because it's an award, but it's the Devi Award. And when I say that, I mean it. We have received a lot of awards over the years, but at every point, I believe that an award validates what you have done, gives you that strength, courage, energy, and inspiration to move forward, to do better things, to make this world a more beautiful one. Thank you.
Lovely sentiment right there. Thank you so much, ma'am. Our next Devi joining us on stage, ladies and gentlemen, is Ms. Preeti Srinivasan for making inclusivity mainstream. May we have the AV, please?
Preeti Srinivasan, co-founder Soul Free, turning immobility into action. In water on the cricket field, her strokes were decisive, sharp. Then waves, once her friend, pulled her under. Stillness claimed her body, never her spirit. The New Indian Express honors Preeti Srinivasan, Devi of Momentum. When the world denied her movement, she moved the world, riding her chariot of resilience. A captain, now a commander of change.
I'd like to request Dr. Preeti Reddy to do the honors. Ms. Preeti Srinivasan, ladies and gentlemen.
Preeti, I wanted to ask you. Hi, Preeti. I wanted to ask you, in that moment when you had that accident, what was that moment like? And you could have easily slipped into an abyss of darkness, but you chose the light and you chose to help other people as well. What was that moment like?
Actually, in that split second, life as I knew it was over.
Right.
I started swimming at the age of 3. I was a state level gold medalist. I started playing cricket at the age of 4. At the age of 8, I played in the senior Tamil Nadu squad with people 2 decades older than me, with the greats of Tamil. So I was swimming, training 6-7 hours a day. I was in an Olympic level fit body. To go from there to going to a body that's quadriplegic, that's literally paralyzed below the neck, it's not something anybody can absorb. It's just, it shatters you because all of us, we think we are the body. We think we are its achievements. We are identified with the achievements of the body. So when your own body doesn't cooperate with you, you just don't even know who you are. You don't recognize the person in the mirror. Then where do you start from? So going from there to 2 near-death experiences to being dead for almost 8 minutes, ma'am will say that after 30 seconds of no oxygen to the brain starts to die. But if it appears that most of my brain cells are still intact,
Yes.
it is that I'm basically a miracle that I'm here. So I have not chosen this path. This path was chosen for me, and I feel really blessed because this Devi Award, it's more, like ma'am said, it's the Devi, but for me, it's also that I saw all the photos there. I don't think there was another Devi in a wheelchair before. So for me, this is representation and it's recognition. So representation in the sense that we are considered invisible. Nobody sees us, nobody recognizes us. We are discarded and demeaned every day. Many of us, I started Soul Free, the organization I run today, because within a 3-month span of time, 2 paraplegic girls whose upper body was fine, they were cooking and cleaning and using their hands, they were told that they're a shame, a burden, and a curse on the family. And poison was left next to them because they were ostracized by society. The family said, we are not being called to any weddings, we are not being called to functions. Nobody is willing to marry your brother because they would be tied with you as an albatross around the neck. So just please die. So within 3 months, 2 girls died. And I said, this can't happen in India. India is the land of Devis, and women need to be valued here. We need to have a life of dignity, and that's how Soul Free started. So this representation and this recognition that a person like me in a wheelchair can still stand on this stage means a lot to me, and I thank the New Indian Express and you and everybody here for giving me this opportunity to be here. There's one more thing I want to say. Ma'am, a spinal cord injury can happen to anyone at any time, as you may know. There is no cure for it anywhere in the world. And there is no medical rehabilitation facilities at all. And it's not there in insurance also. In fact, there are many people in the US and all say, oh, I'm nothing more than a statistic. But in India, I want to say that a person in my condition doesn't even have the luxury of being a statistic. Because if I should say how many spinal cord injuries happened this year in Tamil Nadu, no statistics are available. There is no data. There is no central registry. In the government insurance scheme, there is no rehabilitation at all. So, ma'am, I'm not competing with anybody. We are running India's first integrated spinal rehabilitation center, and it's totally free of cost to those living below the line of poverty. And we are supporting thousands of people who have suddenly become paralyzed. They were walking and talking, farmers who fell from trees, construction workers who don't have proper safety precautions, harnessing facilities. They fall and they're just discarded. There is no insurance, there's nowhere for them to go. Not only them, their entire family gets decimated because the earning member is not able to earn anymore. So there are a lot of people facing, I mean, here we can see we are all privileged. And if we have that, we also have the responsibility that we ensure that those who are not as privileged also get a chance to lead a life of dignity and purpose. And that's what we're trying to do with Soul Free.
Wonderful. I can assure you, you're not invisible at all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much and congratulations. An embodiment of the spirit of Devi, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Preeti Srinivasan. A round of applause as we extend our congratulations. Thank you so much, ma'am, and congratulations. Our next Devi Award is to Ms. Omana Thomas for her unique education model. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may request your attention to the screen, may we have the AV.
Omana Thomas, educator and architect of futures. At her school, each new branch, every green initiative, every milestone whispers her belief. To guide is not to dictate, but to inspire and uplift. Under her stewardship, each Shishya thrives, a vessel of dreams brimming with purpose. The New Indian Express honors Omana Thomas, Devi of Nurture, redefining education as a journey of becoming, not a race to the finish.
Ms. Omana Thomas, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause as I invite Dr. Preeta Reddy and Mr. Prabhu Chawla to present the award.
Dr. Thomas, we heard specifically lots of cheers for you. So they're obviously students or maybe just fans. But tell me, what makes a Shishya so different?
I have to say this, my son went to Omna school, and I think that was one of his best years of his life, and he actually turned out quite well.
I think Shishya children are very self-confident. They are able to stand up for themselves, speak for themselves. Don't you think so, Preeta? So that is a Shishya child, and they stand out amongst others. They are special. We have children. We are very inclusive. We are a very inclusive school. We make sure that children from all parts of society are a part of our school. We do not deny admission to anyone. And that is what I can say about Shishya.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I love your hairstyle, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I have a new name from Indian Express, the new Indian Express.
Right.
After being chosen for this award, my granddaughters call me Amama Devi.
Oh, nice. Lovely. Thank you.
On that lovely note, a loud round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Ms. Omana Thomas. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. Our next recipient of the Devi Award, ladies and gentlemen, is Ms. Jerlyn Anika for Excellence Beyond Limitations. May we have the AV?
Jerlyn Anika, Arjuna awardee, shattering barriers with every swing, leap and dive. The racket speaks for her. The shuttle carries her dreams. 3 golden crescendos in Brazil, a chorus of achievements sung in silent pride. She hears what nobody else can. The New Indian Express honors Jerlyn Anika, Devi of Rallies. The roar of victory thunders through her, deafening the world. A rallying cry for those who listen with their hearts.
If I may invite Ms. Jerlyn Anika to join us on stage and our presenters to do the honors.
Yes, Jerlyn's father would like to say a few words on her behalf. Yes, please, in Tamil. Go ahead.
பெரிய தமிழில் தான் தெரியும், தமிழில் பேசி பெரிய ஒரு லெஜண்ட்ஸ் மத்தியில் ஒரு சின்ன பொண்ணுக்கு தேவி அவார்ட்ஸ் கிடைக்குதுன்னா அது ஜெர்லின் செஞ்ச மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு பாக்கியம். ரெண்டாவது, கடவுள் அவளுக்கு கொடுத்த ஒரு வரம் இது. ஜெர்லின் 1.5 வயசில் தான் அவங்களுக்கு காது கேட்காது, வாய் பேச முடியாது. ஷீ இஸ் டெஃப் அண்ட் டம்ப். கடவுள் எல்லாருக்கும் இந்த மாதிரி ஸ்பெஷல் சைல்டு கொடுக்கறதில்ல. லட்சத்தில் ஒரு பேர். அதாவது எந்த பேரண்ட்டால் அவங்கள நல்லா பார்த்துக்க முடியும் அப்படின்னு தெரிஞ்சு தான் அவங்களுக்கு இந்த மாதிரி சைல்டு. அப்படி ஒரு குழந்தைய எனக்கு கொடுத்ததில் நான் மிக கர்வமாகவும் பெருமையாகவும் கடவுளுக்கு அவரோட சொல் அப்படிங்கிறதுல என் பொண்ணை நான் வளர்த்து வந்தேன். அவளுக்கு என்ன இஷ்டமோ அப்படிங்கிறதுல பார்க்குறப்ப பேட்மிண்டனில் அவளுக்கு ஒரு ஆர்வம் இருந்துச்சு. அந்த ஆர்வத்தை தெரிஞ்சு 8 வயசில் ஜெர்லினை பேட்மிண்டன் ஆடுறதுக்கு கூப்பிட்டு போனேன். டெய்லி ஒரு 10 ஹவர்ஸ், அதாவது 10 வயசுல இருந்தே 10 ஹவர்ஸ் ப்ராக்டிஸ். நான் அவளை ஆரம்பத்திலேருந்தே சாதாரணமாக சும்மா பொழுதுபோக்காக விளையாடக்கூடாது. பெண்கள் எந்த விதத்திலும் தாழ்ந்தவங்க இல்லை, இப்படி இருக்கிற ஒரு பொண்ணாலையும் சாதிக்க முடியும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி தான் நான் அவளை ஃபுல் பிளட்ஜாக ஃபுல் அண்ட் ஃபுல் ஸ்போர்ட்ஸில் டெய்லி 8 மணி நேரம் ப்ராக்டிஸ். அதனோட கடவுள் கொடுத்த மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு வரம் என்னன்னா, 13 வயசில் அவங்க டெஃப் ஒலிம்பிக்கில் பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணாங்க. அந்த ஒலிம்பிக்கில் பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணுறப்ப யங்கஸ்ட் கேர்ள் இந்த ஒலிம்பிக் பிரேசிலில் நடந்துச்சு, டர்க்கியில் நடந்துச்சு. அப்போ வந்து யங்கஸ்ட் கேர்ள்னு சொல்லி ஒரு அவார்டு கொடுத்தாங்க ஒலிம்பிக்கில். பட் மேட்ச்சில் எதுவும் ஜெயிக்கலை. விடாமுயற்சியாலையும் அவளோட தன்னம்பிக்கை, நான் போய் அவளை ப்ரெஷர் பண்ணியோ அது இதெல்லாம் எதுவுமே பண்ணலை. அவளோட நம்பிக்கையில் அவளோட இன்ட்ரெஸ்டில் விளையாண்டு நம்பிக்கையோட 2019 வேர்ல்டு சாம்பியனில் இந்தியாவுக்காக விளையாண்டு கோல்டு மெடல் எடுத்து இந்தியாவுக்கும் நம்ம தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கும் மிகப்பெரிய பெருமையை சேர்த்துருக்காங்க. பேச முடியாத இந்த ஜெர்லினை பற்றி அன்னைக்கு இந்த உலகமே பேசிச்சு. ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் சைடில் ஜெர்லினுக்கு வந்து சிந்து தான் ரோல் மாடல். அவங்கள மாதிரி ஒரு இடத்துக்கு வரணும் அப்படின்ற வைராக்கியமும் அவளுக்கு நாங்கள் நிறையா சொல்லியும் கொடுத்துருக்கோம். கடைசியாக 2022 ஒலிம்பிக்கில் வந்து 3 கோல்டு மெடல் ஜெயிச்சு இந்தியாவுக்கு மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு பெருமையும் தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கும் சேர்த்துருக்காங்கங்கிறத நான் கர்வமாகவே சொல்லிக்கிறேன். அந்த 3 கோல்டு மெடல் எடுத்ததுக்கு தொடர்ச்சியாக இந்தியாவின் மிகப்பெரிய உயரிய விருதான அர்ஜுனா அவார்டு ஜெர்லினுக்கு கிடைச்சது. இந்த அவார்டு கொடுத்து ஜெர்லினை பெருமைப்படுத்தின நியூ இந்தியன் எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் அவர்களுக்கும் மேடம் அவர்களுக்கும் சார் அவர்களுக்கும் ரொம்ப நன்றி. மற்றும் ஆதரவு கொடுத்த உங்களுக்கும் ரொம்ப நன்றி.
Thank you, sir. The unstoppable spirit of Jerlin, of course, and the unstoppable spirit of her parents. Ladies and gentlemen, with that we step into our next recipient here on stage, Ms. Arundhati Subramanian, and this is for her words and wisdom. May we have the AV.
Arundhati Subramaniam, poet and author. Every poem a pilgrimage. In the interstices of silence and song, she finds the goddess murmuring. A bridge between mortal longing and divine laughter, she finds the sacred in passion, not piety. The New Indian Express honors Arundhati Subramaniam, Devi of Liminality. Her anthologies, temples of verse, her essays, maps of spirit.
A round of applause for Ms. Arundhati, ladies and gentlemen. And if I may request Dr. Preeta Reddy and Mr. Prabhu Chalna to join us as we present the lovely Devi Awards.
Hard to compete with that music. Arundhati, you write poetry, prose, everything. What's your favorite form?
Undeniably poetry.
Yeah?
Yes. So I'm one of those poets who's made sure she does not write fiction. I'm absolutely monogamous as far as poetry is concerned.
What is it about poetry that, that sort of moves you so much?
The fact that it is a kind of kinetic language. It's language that dances. It's language that sings. It's language that does many of the things that some of our awardees here do. So to me, that's really primarily it. It also happens to be a particularly invisible form, a somewhat dowdy, not terribly glamorous form. So it means a great deal to receive an award like this. It is the kind of vitamin that I think one needs on what can often seem like a very solitary journey.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And it's not unglamorous at all. I think you bring all the glamour to it. So, thank you.
Thank you so much and congratulations, ma'am. Our next recipient of the Devi Award, ladies and gentlemen, is Ms. Rajavali Rajiv, and this is for her entrepreneurial spirit. Can we have the AV, please?
Rajavali Rajiv, social entrepreneur. From waste as a burden to garbage as a commodity. Tunneling with hope through mountains of neglect, refuse refined into resource. Contributors find value in their waste in themselves, calculating futures in kilograms and kilowatts, writing equations of transformation in the language of sustainability. The New Indian Express honors Rajavalli Rajiv, Devi of Renewal, defining dismissed decay as potential energy waiting to be released, polymer chains reborn as possibility, death into life.
A round of applause for our Devi, Ms. Rajavalli Rajiv.
Hi, Rajavalli, I wanted to ask you what drew you to this most unusual of enterprises, turning garbage into gold.
Thank you, New Indian Express, for this recognition. First of all, the one which I'm holding today and the way I'm standing here is definitely not because what I have done. There are a lot of people who made me do this. Maybe it is a time I talk about them also. The source of inspiration for me to dream big has always been my parents, Jayabharati and Shantavel, who has gave me the conviction of character for the belief system that nothing is waste, nothing is garbage. Everything should be valued. Every relationship should be valued. And the source of my stability has always been my mother-in-law. This project of garbage bank was fueled by her. Everybody wants the roads to be clean. Everybody wants the streets to be clean, their house to be clean, their self to be clean, their thoughts to be clean. We understand. But then putting it into implementation, executing that in the house level is possible, in the community level, in the state level, district level, in the country level, it demands a lot of efforts. And everybody is held responsible for that. And I'm extremely happy and thankful for my mother-in-law's support system that she has given. Because today, as one individual with a family's support system, we are able to simply recover 770 metric tons from being dumped in the dump yards.
Wow.
So we would like to do more. It is just a baby step that we have taken. And the third important thing for any Devi to be more powerful, or definitely their family members. For me, it is my daughters. I have 3 Devis, Vinmin, Venba and Vanaham. Their tolerance for making their mother go around, fly around, gives me a lot of strength and power always. So I devote this to my daughters. Finally, for any women to climb up to a place where she has always dreamt of, it is always possible because of a strong man behind. And it is my husband Rajiv, who has acted as a big support for all that I wished. All that I wish, because nobody wants the wife to go around streets and then collect garbage, isn't it? And then he agreed. He knew that this lady will not stop. I cannot contain this lady inside the house. She has dreamt of something and that should happen. And thank you so much, New Indian Express. If one person is able to do 770 tons, all those people who are here who really want your place to be clean, it is possible, it is possible. And for all those achievers and tomorrow's achievers, I would like to tell you one thing. Never ever wait for your ideas to be validated by somebody. Dream big. One day it will happen. Never wait for validation from somebody. The person who can validate you is the person who is standing in front of the mirror. Every time you see them, you pat yourself on the back, and people like New Indian Express will also give you awards like this, patting you extra, and things will happen on the way. Best wishes, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Thank you so much and congratulations again. Our next recipient, ladies and gentlemen, is Ms. Chitra Vishweshwaran. This is for her dance, which has moved generations. May we have the AV?
Chitra Visveshwaran, dancers, a sculptor of space, a poet of time. In the stillness before music, she stands rooted like an ancient temple, the moment between breath and choice. When she moves, she is ablaze, bright, steady, uncontainable. Her choreography, an ever-evolving ode to the dance of life. The New Indian Express honors Chitra Visveshwaran, Devi of expression. Her body a canvas, her soul the eternal audience to the sacred geometry of Bharatanatyam.
A round of applause for Ms. Chitra Visveshwaran. And if I may please request Dr. Preetha Reddy to do the honors and present ma'am with a Devi Award.
Ma'am, would you like to say something to us?
Thank you. And it is wonderful of New Indian Express to recognize such stalwarts and legends and youngsters who make one realize how meaningful life could be. I'm a dancer, a teacher, but I'm also a sibling of a differently abled man who will always be a baby, but it is the Devi, my mother, who gave me, through this experience of my sibling, the strength to face life and to achieve everything at every level. And when I see everybody here with their achievements, I feel truly humbled. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next Devi joining us on stage is Ms. Suchitra Balasubramanian, and this award is for making Harikatha popular. May we have the AV?
Suchitra Balasubramaniam, Harikatha exponent. Her voice a vessel, a finely tuned veena. She has graced 1,000 stages, summoning the sacred, seeking the eternal in the ephemeral, the mythical in the lived. Born into the rhythms of Tanjavur, legacy sings through her veins, rings in our ears. Words dance like fire, cast light on veiled truths, throw the mundane into shadow, reveal life's roots. The New Indian Express honors Suchitra Balasubramanian, Devi of strings. Every chord tugs at invisible threads that connect us all.
A round of applause for Ms. Suchitra as she receives the Devi Award from Dr. Preetha Reddy.
Suchitra, you want to talk a little about Harikatha and its growing popularity?
Yeah, namaskaram to one and all present here. I truly feel humbled and incredibly grateful and thank the New Indian Express team for having bestowed this award upon me today. Harikatha is a very, very traditional art. It's a very ancient art form, but dwindling, I would say. So it's very, very heartening to see that the New Indian Express team and the jury have prioritized this particular traditional art while choosing the awardees, and I'm immensely, immensely grateful for the same. This art is a very, very traditional art where the legacy comes first. It's like it started from Maratha. The Sarfuji rulers who came to Tanjore taught about this art a lot, after which many Mahanubhavas took that beautiful art, combining the story and song. And in that lineage, Brahmashri Tiruvayaradi Annaswamy Bhagavatar, who also happens to be the guru of my party and guru, Kalaimamani Tanjavur Srimati T.R. Kamala Murthy. So I come in that Paddhati, which is called as the Tanjavur Paddhati. So I'm so happy to be here on stage, and once again thank each and everyone for giving this award. I'm definitely a molehill among the mountains of legends here, but then I take it as an encouragement and also will, probably this reminds me the responsibility that I have much more in the future ahead. Thank you so much.
On that lovely note, thank you so much for joining us here, and congratulations, ma'am. Our next recipient, ladies and gentlemen, is Dr. Sudha Seshayan for her service to education and medicine. Good evening, ma'am. May we please have the AV.
Dr. Sudha Seshayan, Director, Sastra University, standing at the confluence of science and spirituality. Her scalpel weaves, her words dissect, carving meaning from muscles, syllables from sinews. Ligaments are lyrics, tendons are tales. The human body, a map. The soul, the terrain it charts. The New Indian Express honors Dr. Sudha Seshayan, Devi of Essence, cultural custodian, medical visionary, literary torchbearer, spiritual guide. She distilled Kalam's skyward dreams into Tamil's roots, where they now bloom.
Dr. Sudha Seshayan. We have her presentation of the Devi Award done by Dr. Preeta Reddy.
Dr. Seshan, I've been meaning to ask you all day today, because we've heard you today as well. Which is a greater love, medicine or literature?
Not both of them, but being a teacher.
Oh, nice. Very nice. And even though your students may be rowdy or not paying attention or sleepy, that's okay?
Kaveri, I really think if you're a good teacher, the students are there. And
Welcome to you.
a teacher is a permanent student.
That's
Keeps
true.
learning. So I think I've never had the difficulty of making my students listen or attend.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Many
and
congratulations.
honored, humble, thank you very much.
Many congratulations.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Our next recipient is Miss Lakshmi Venu, and this is for her customer first philosophy. May we have the AV?
Lakshmi Venu, Director, DAFE, Leadership, an alloy of spirit and steel, sowing grit and harvesting prosperity for tractors that plow fields and minds that till ideas. In the purr of engines, she feels the pulse of farmers, the dreams of workers, and the rhythm of a nation in motion. The New Indian Express honors Lakshmi Venu, Devi of Drive. Gears she inherited into engines of her own making, steering industry with tradition in one hand, disruption in the other.
Unfortunately, Ms. Lakshmi wasn't able to make it this evening, but she's shared a short AV. And if I may request, the AV be played.
Good evening, everyone. I very much wish that I could have been with you in person this evening at the Devi Awards. Coming from such an eminent publication, it is humbling to receive this recognition. Thank you very much to the New Indian Express Group for the honor and the encouragement, both to me and to women across disciplines over the years. We are a country of self-employed and entrepreneurs, with over 55% of the formal workforce pursuing this path. Half the demographic dividend that we are all optimistic about are women, and including more women in entrepreneurship at scale, I believe will turbocharge the Indian growth story. One of the things that I have always drawn energy from personally is meeting women entrepreneurs across context and scale and seeing how each of them have navigated their journey. So I thought I would take this opportunity to share a few of my observations from my experiences. Whatever the context, the key features I see across all of them are aspiration and self-belief, a supportive home that connects them with the right skills at the right time, education on accessing capital and markets, and importantly, peer learning and mentorship. Entrepreneurship has always begun with an aspiration and the self-belief that one would like to contribute to make a difference or an impact, and usually from a fairly young. For me, my family and my school played a very big role. Tisha's environment motivated us all to follow the school's motto, to aspire and excel. Today, to receive this recognition alongside Mrs. Thomas is truly special to me. Thank you very much, ma'am, for an enviable child that both nurtured and motivated.
On that lovely note, we step into our next awardee, Ms. Brinda Gopal. This is for her dance and direction. If I may request the AV be played.
Brinda Gopal, choreographer and director, a disciple of innovation, a master of motion. For 3 decades, countless films, she has turned sound into sight and sight into sensation. Through the lens of her choreography, she sees beyond the steps into the souls of characters, teaching her rhythm to the heartbeat of their stories. The New Indian Express honors Brinda Gopal, Devi of Motion. Once a girl among hundreds of boys, dancing not to fit in, but stand out.
A round of applause for Ms. Brinda Gopal as she receives Devi Award from Dr. Preeta Reddy and Mr. Prabhu Chawla.
Brinda, I'm tempted to ask you to show me some moves.
I'm ready.
But I hope I don't have to
But
dance
I
with
need
you.
some music.
Okay, let's have it.
But not too heavy. I had sprained my leg little bit.
Yeah, sure. Can we have some music? I loved Hey Namika, by the way.
But I'm
I
very
thought it was a
scared to
lovely.
dance in front of Chitra. I'm so happy to get this award and so many legends.
I think they're trying to figure out the best music to play.
Yeah.
But are you enjoying direction?
Yeah, of course.
Oh. Wow. Wow. Fabulous. Fabulous. And what a sport. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I love your shirt, jacket, whatever.
As soon as I came here, I was feeling very bad. I'm only dressed very jatak. oh, why I dressed like that? But it's okay.
Yes, everything's fine as long as Brinda Gopal is moving.
Yeah,
Thank you.
with a lot of energy.
Yes, thank you.
But
Thank
I
you
must
so much.
thank New Indian Express, then all the great Devis in front of them. I'm getting an award. I'm so blessed and honored. Thank you so much. My Devi is my mother. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you.
But this award dedicated to all the Devis in the world.
Thank you.
Thank you so much and congratulations, ma'am. Our next Devi is Miss Unwavering, and this is for costumes that define characters. May we have the AV?
Unwavering, costume designer, draping legends in her art. In the loom of cinema's grand tapestry, she weaves threads of history. Every stitch a story meticulously spun, with hands that trace the contours of characters. The New Indian Express honors Unwavering, Devi of Couture, translator of scripts into color, texture and form, balancing authenticity with cinematic flair.
Unfortunately, Ms. Anu couldn't be here with us today, but of course, in a lovely twist of events, we're joined by her husband, Mr. Vishnuvardhan. If I may request you to put your hands together
Who
as we
has
welcome.
who has flown in specifically for this, so thank you.
He's joined us and he's flown in. He's flown in, by the way, to Chennai exclusively to join us this evening. So we truly appreciate your presence here this evening. And of course, a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. I'm a huge fan of Shersha. Super movie. You want to say something on Anu's behalf or on something that you want to say?
No, actually,
on your own behalf?
எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். Actually, I'm honored to be here. You know, the most interesting thing is Anu, my wife, and my son, both of them are studying in London. So my son is doing his university, and my wife is doing a master's. She's just graduating.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
In what?
I have two of them studying, staying together like roommates.
So sweet. Masters in what?
She's doing an international film business. She just finished. I went for the first graduation, and I have my release going on press meet. So she was not able to make it, but I made sure no matter what, I took my next flight. I flew down in the evening. If not for her, for what would I do that? And I'm flying out again tomorrow morning for my press meet.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you so much, New Indian Express, on behalf of Anu. And thank you to all the most powerful beings on this planet, the women. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
I think I have to say that lot of us are successful because of the men who support us. They're not behind us, but they support us. So I think we need to give the men in our lives a big hand too.
Absolutely, and with that, we step into the final award this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, this is to Ms. Khatija Rahman for her dedication to music. We have an AV. May I please request your attention to the screen?
Khatija Rahman, musician, a daughter of music, redefining her lineage. Her music unfolds like silken threads, soft enough to soothe, strong enough to bind hearts. The New Indian Express honors Khatija Rahman, Devi of composition. She cloaks her independence in soft, veiled refrains, answering the world's narrow questions with a wider truth. Freedom, faith, and feminism can hum in the same chord.
That's Ms. Khatija Rahman. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause as I request Dr. Preetha Reddy to do the honors.
Khadija, I have to ask you the obvious question. What has your dad's influence been on you?
I think if not for
A
him,
little louder.
If not for him, I wouldn't be receiving this award because of all the nurturing and the upbringing he has given and all the traditional values with which we've been brought up. I think we've not spoiled with a lot of things. I think he encourages us to work hard and find our own identity. So that's what I would credit him for.
Did you tell him you're getting this award? What did he have to say?
In fact, I didn't tell, but when I was getting ready, he had called. And then from the car, I called him back, and then he said, okay, have fun.
Yeah, I mean, not a man of too many words, but of great music. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. At a time when I'm trying to find my own identity because I struggle a lot with imposter syndrome. And
Don't.
so I think this really means a lot that I'm receiving this in the midst of all these legends. I feel that I've not done anything yet, but still you're giving me this, so thank you so much. It's again my imposter
You've done
speaking.
a lot, and this is just a way to power you more.
Thank you, means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
If I may request Ms. Khatija to remain on stage. We have all our Devis joining us on stage for a quick photo op. We'd love to commemorate this occasion with our Devis on stage bearing their lovely awards. If I may welcome back all our Devis to join us. I'd also like to request Mr. Prabhu Chawla and Dr. Preetha Reddy to join us for the picture. Ms. Lakshmi Menon, if we may take the opportunity to invite you to join us on stage. Ms. Santwana Bhattacharya. Mr. Vishnuvardhan on behalf of Ms. Anu. A round of applause from all of us in the audience, ladies and gentlemen, for our Devis 2025, Unstoppable Spirit, and of course, lovely stories behind and ahead of them. A very special thanks to all our Devis for joining us this evening, and as we draw our on-stage proceedings to a close, if I may invite Ms. Lakshmi Menon for a formal vote of thanks. Welcome back, ma'am.
On behalf of the New Indian Express, I would like to express a sincere gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. Preetha Reddy, for her gracious presence here today. Our gratitude to all our Devis, because of whom we've gathered here to celebrate their incredible journey and for the wonderful work that they've done and they continue to do as they spread good cheer and positivity all across. Our sponsors, presenting partner Adani Group, state partner Government of Uttarakhand, associate partners Shankar IAS Academy, Narui Hospitals, celebration partner Radico, gifting partner Ahuja Sons, entertainment partner Cinema Express, content partner Indulge Express, and streaming partner Daily Hunt, who've made this evening possible. Last but not the least, our guests who are here to celebrate and cheer our inspiring Devis for their incredible journey. We wish to see you again next year for the 5th edition of Devi Awards here at Chennai.
Thank you so much. Along with our Devis, we also extend a very special thanks to all of you who've joined us this evening. Please do join us for cocktails, conversations, and some culinary delights. We'll see you very soon at the next Devi Awards.